They'll tell you cruising is relaxing, that it's all about escape and recharging, but what they don't tell you is that escape comes with 5,000 new best friends, a limbo contest, and a cruise director with the energy of a golden retriever on espresso. For introverts, a cruise can feel more like a group project that never ends, but it doesn't have to. There's a way to cruise without the chaos, a way to find peace, quiet, and maybe even enjoy yourself without being dragged into line dancing. And that's exactly who this video is for. Hey y'all, I'm Evan with Family at Sea, where we help make every cruise unforgettable. Cruising can be one of the most relaxing vacations out there, unless you're an introvert, and then it can feel like a floating group project with forced small talk and a DJ that never sleeps. But it doesn't have to be that way. So in this video, I'm gonna help you learn how to choose the right cruise to keep things low key, how to avoid the chaos without missing out on the best parts of the trip, and the little known strategies introverts swear by to cruise without the overwhelm. If you're ready to recharge without retreating to a stairwell with pizza, you're in the right place. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. Some cruise lines feel like spring break with a buffet. Others feel like a floating spa where no one talks unless there's wine involved. And if you're an introvert, guess which one we're aiming for. Lines like Celebrity, Princess, and Holland America are all solid picks. They lean older, quieter, and no one's shouting, "Woo!" during breakfast, and yeah, that's kind of the dream. But another thing most people overlook, the itinerary matters way more than you think. Short 3 or 4 day trips to the Bahamas are going to be packed with party people who treat the cruise line like a floating frat house. Evan, that's literally the cruise I booked. No shame, just know you're gonna hear Pitbull before 10 a.m. Next time though, longer sailings, off-season itineraries, or weird ports of call are paradise for introverts. And skip the floating cities. Those megaships might look cool and ads, but for introverts, they're basically theme parks with no exit. So that means more noise, more people, and more chaos. Instead, look for mid-sized ships. You still get great food and entertainment, but without feeling like you're stuck in a mall on Black Friday. And if all of that sounds like a lot to figure out, that's exactly why I always book through Cruises It. They don't just book the cruise, they help you book smarter. The right ship, the right cabin, and the right itinerary, all tailored to the kind of experience you actually want. Especially if that experience includes things like peace, quiet, and not sharing dinner with strangers named Linda. Sorry, Linda. They're constantly hooking me up with better prices, extra perks, and upgrades I wouldn't have found on my own. And their low price guarantee means you're not leaving money or your sanity on the table. It's like having a best friend in the cruise world who also happens to have access to group rates and free onboard credit. So if you want someone who actually has your back, click the link in the description below to browse cruises yourself, or just call the number on the screen and tell them Evan from Family at Sea sent you. You'll be glad you did. Your cabin is your escape pod. Treat it that way. If you're an introvert, location matters more than square footage. Avoid anything near elevators, nightclubs, theaters, kids clubs, basically anywhere happiness goes to scream. And look for something toward the forward or the aft of the ship that's still surrounded by other cabins. That is the key to less foot traffic, fewer slamming doors, and no one doing karaoke directly underneath you at night. And if you can swing it, get a balcony. That tiny outdoor space becomes your private ocean view sanctuary. You can sip coffee in silence, read a book without being judged, or just watch the horizon roll by while your social battery recharges. Interior rooms are fine if you're on a budget, but if you're someone who needs sunlight to stay sane, you'll thank yourself for the splurge. Oh, and if you're cruising solo, check if the ship has studio cabins. No roommate, no awkward introductions, just you and your fortress of solitude at sea. Embarkation is like the first day of school, but everyone's in flip-flops and holding a pina colada. It's loud, crowded, and slightly chaotic, and basically an introvert's greatest nightmare. So here's the move. Show up early or show up late. Getting there early means you board before the masses. Getting there late means you skip the TSA at Disney vibe. Just don't arrive in the middle. That's when the chaos peaks and you'll question all your life choices. Once you're on board, skip the buffet. Everyone else is there loading a plate light like it's the Hunger Games. But instead, you could go find a quiet lounge or outdoor deck and take a breath. Once you've checked in at your muster station, you're free. Go explore the ship while everyone else is still figuring out how the elevators work, and claim your quiet space early. It's like picking the best seat on an empty plane. Cruise ships are basically floating cities, and just like any city, the crowds follow patterns. So if you can stay one step ahead of those patterns, you can carve out way more peace than you'd expect. Want a hot tub to yourself? Go early morning while everyone is sleeping in or grabbing breakfast. Want a quiet lunch? Eat at 11 or 2, just not noon, and definitely not the buffet on embarkation day unless you enjoy chaos served with a side of fries. Evenings are underrated too. While half the ship is dressing up for formal night photos, you can explore the quietest lounges, walk the upper decks, or just claim the best chair in the solarium. Evan, do I really have to plan my whole vacation around other people's behavior? Only if you want to enjoy it. And if your ship has a true quiet zone like a solarium or sanctuary without blaring music or kids doing cannonballs, that is home base. But not all adults-only spaces are peaceful, so check it out early before you commit. Cruise dining is secretly where most introverts lose the will to socialize, because nothing says vacation like being seated at a giant round table with 8 strangers named Linda or Bob. If your cruise offers it, choose flexible dining. It lets you show up when you want, and in many cases, you can request a table for just your party or just you. Yes, you can ask, and yes, they will usually say yes. Specialty restaurants are another great option. Fewer people, quieter vibes, and less chance of someone trying to bond over shrimp cocktails. Evan, I just want to eat without being a part of a surprise birthday party. Exactly, that is the bar. And don't forget, room service is a thing. Sometimes the best meal is eaten in your pajamas, sitting on your balcony watching the ocean go by without a single conversation starter in sight. Peak peace. Cruise ships have a schedule full of activities, but here's the secret. No one's taking attendance. You don't have to go to the Broadway-style show. You don't have to play trivia, and you definitely don't have to attend the silent disco just to say you got the full experience. You're not going to get a bad grade for skipping bingo. Pick and choose based on your energy. If the mood strikes, go. Sit in the back, leave early, or stay the whole time and just vibe in silence. That's allowed. Evan, is it weird to go to the show alone and not talk to anyone? Nope, it's called enjoying the show, not surviving a group project. And if none of it sounds fun, there's always a quiet bar, an empty deck chair, or your balcony where the only performance is the ocean doing its thing. Most people spend their cruise looking for the party, but you're looking for the opposite of that. And the good news is every ship has secret chill zones. You just have to find them before the loud people do. Start with the observation lounge. It's quiet, comfy, and usually full of people doing absolutely nothing, which is perfect. Libraries, piano bars during the day, and shaded deck chairs on the upper levels are all underrated havens of peace. Evan, I'm gonna need a treasure map for these secret quiet spots. You don't need a map. You need noise-canceling headphones and a willingness to walk away from the pool deck. Scope them out on day 1, find your spot, claim it early, and make it your hideaway. It might be a forward lounge with no music, or a random hallway chair with 0 foot traffic. It doesn't matter as long as it's yours. Just because the ship docks doesn't mean you have to get off. Sometimes the best port day is staying on board while everyone else sprints to a crowded bus tour. That's when the ship feels like your own private yacht. But if you do want to explore, definitely skip the 50-person cruise line group excursions. Look for small group tours, private guides, or just to walk around the port on your own. No awkward forced bonding, no waiting for that one guy who's always late, and no microphone-wielding tour guide yelling facts you could have Googled. And honestly, I've found the best way to do this is to book with an excursion operator like Shore Excursions Group or Viator, who have much smaller groups at a fraction of the price. I've included links for both of those so that you can book the best possible tours that will still absolutely get you back to the ship on time. Evan, wait, let's take a step back here. So I can just not get off the ship? Absolutely, that's the introvert flex. While they're melting in a bus, you're poolside with 0 competition for a chair. Port days aren't mandatory. They're optional adventures, and sometimes the best one is a quiet ship and a nap. Sea days are the ultimate test of your ability to not be dragged into group games against your will. Everyone else is out there doing poolside Zumba and trying to win a plastic ship on a stick for yelling B12 the loudest at bingo. Meanwhile, you're crafting the perfect, low-effort, high-enjoyment itinerary that includes things like spa time, second breakfast, and pretending your balcony is a private resort. Morning is prime quiet time, so go for a walk on the top deck before the loud people even wake up. Late afternoon is also gold because that's when most folks crash in their cabins and the ship takes a deep breath. Evan, is it bad that my perfect sea day involves 0 activities? That's not bad at all. That is the dream. Sea days aren't for doing more, they're doing for exactly enough and knowing when to disappear. So yeah, cruising as an introvert can totally work. You don't have to force conversations with strangers. You don't have to join every activity, and you definitely don't have to shout, sing Bon Jovi in the atrium to feel like you got your money's worth. Oh, living on a prayer. Nah. Because the truth is, cruising doesn't have to be loud to be amazing. You just need the right ship, the right plan, and maybe a quiet corner where nobody's organizing a group dance. But here's the thing. It's not just about avoiding the chaos. It's about finding the cruise line that actually fits who you are. So in this next video, I'm breaking down which cruise line matches which personality types, from laid-back loungers to high-energy adventurers, so you can stop guessing and start booking smarter. If you're ready, I am. Let's go.